Three, two, one, and go ahead.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Not for Normies podcast, your home for all the video game news you need to know. My name is Javier, and alongside me is my co-host Christian Diaz. Chris,
What's up,
what's going on
guys?
today, man?
How's it going? How y'all doing today? Great to be
Nice,
here with
guys.
Javi. Talk about video games as always.
As always, guys, we have a humongous amount of news to get to today. But before we jump in, if you're joining in the stream, thank you guys for hopping in on the stream. But do us a favor, if you haven't already, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you have not already, this helps us a bunch and lets us know that you enjoy the content that we're putting out and you like the things that we're doing here at Not for Normies. And with that out of the way, just to get some housewarming things done, let's dive right into the news with this
You want to do the X post?
main thing that we have. Yes, we can actually talk about the X post. So I had made a post, and actually IGN is the one that started all this, because this was a humongous controversy online. Is that IGN gave Mario and Luigi Brothership a 5 out of 10 on as far as like a review score. For a Mario and Luigi game to get a 5 out of 10 is abysmal. I'm just gonna put that out right. It is absolutely unfathomable.
Yeah, I
To,
don't even remember what was the last Mario game that got reviewed so low.
dude, I don't even remember the last time I've seen a review for a Mario and Luigi game that was that bad,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just it's super bad. And then somebody in my comment put a screenshot of Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, and they got a 4.8 from IGN, and I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe maybe there is like, but I was like, but Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, it's like that game came out for the Wii U. It's like, how many people even bought a Wii U to begin with, right? I
Mario and
mean, like,
Tennis Ultra Smash. I've never even heard of that.
dude,
What was that
I
released
did.
on?
It was on Wii U. It was on Wii U.
Wii U? Wow.
Yep, it was on Wii U. So I made a video about this yesterday, but if you haven't watched the video, you can actually click up in the iCard for people who are watching this later. You can watch it in the iCard here. I'll link it here, but Chris, what do you think about this whole situation, man? What do you think about this whole rating system that we have currently? And actually, one of the things I got commented on yesterday from my comment was because I have a pre-order out for this game, and the big problem is that it's like, oh, why should a review dictate how you make purchasing decisions? I'm like, because a lot of people have that actually happen to them. A lot of us who are adults don't have all the time in the world to actually just like earn all the money in the world to buy a game and then play it and then like see whether or not we like it or not. Like,
Yeah.
we have to save that money. We have things to pay for, whatever. We can't spend like 59.99 on a video game that we don't know whether or not we're even gonna like it or not. So what's your take on it? Like, are these reviewers out of whack? Was this just like a fluke? Was
So,
this just
so Nintendo Life did like a little roundup of like a collection of certain reviews from My Nintendo News, VGC, Eurogamer, the RPG site, IGN, just to get like a better variety of reviews on Mario and Luigi Brothership. And it does seem like for the most part people are giving it above average reviews, but like slotted in there are like some mediocre average reviews as well. And by the X comments, you can tell that, I mean, there's always going to be a good amount of people who are like don't even listen to IGN anymore. Like just
Yeah,
people who don't trust
it's
IGN reviews.
it's true.
No, it is true. They haven't had the best track record. But it does help give us some insight onto like what other gamers are thinking. What I do find really interesting is that at the same time, this same week, we had Dragon Age Veilguard, and
Hmm.
we almost seem to be seeing like a lot of the same thing in Dragon Age Veilguard reviews as we are in Mario and Luigi reviews, where it's this similarity to like some people giving it mediocre reviews and then some people saying like, oh, you haven't even played the game so you can't review it, or
Mm.
you know, on certain instances like the same type of reviews. Um, but I don't know. At the end of the day, it's just about playing the game and reviewing it yourself. Um,
Yeah,
but
but
it is a big controversy between both these games, Mario and Luigi Brothership and Dragon Age Veilguard, that are just
well,
kind of
if you
getting bombed right out the gate.
yeah, but if you look at the actual reviews themselves, there's a lot of um you can kind of pick out certain things that you find that are similar, and like that. I mean, some reviewers may not find as like that much of a hindrance to the overall experience that is was brought about for the game.
Hmm.
But then there are some things that one person may take more seriously, or somebody else may take some, like a little less like seriously. So like for example, for Mario and Luigi Brothership, uh I think everybody was in completely in understanding that the Nintendo Switch is not a powerful machine. It's not. And I don't think that's to the I think that performance issue was to the detriment of the game itself. So because the hardware cannot play the game very well, the performance on the like when you play the game chugged. Like, and I mean that's is that the fault of the people who made the
Yeah, it's
game?
expected to
It,
happen from a console that's like this far in its inception, and you know, a new Mario title, a new like AAA release is getting released on this like 7-year-old console, 8-year-old console now.
yeah. So I think you know when you look at those when okay put those performance issues aside. When you look at the core gameplay experience, it seems like a very fun time. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Is that it looks like it's a lot of fun. Like it looks like it's exciting. Like it's more obviously the gameplay is meant for children. Some people may say that's kind of monotonous, that it's very that it's repetitive. And I think that's actually a feature, not a bug. I actually think
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
a
Mario
primary.
and Luigi games are meant to be at this sort of like baseline complexity. You know, they're
Yeah.
not meant to get like too much into the RPG genre, too much into the action or adventure genre. Like it's just meant to kind of just feel like a baseline and be your favorite Mario characters, you know, that you're used to playing.
Yeah, I mean,
It's meant to be more
also these
charming than complex.
mhm. It's meant to be charming, and it's also remember these games are meant for kids. Like kids don't really have like that level of complexity like that a like Dragon Age Veilguard would have. Like those games have levels of complexity that kid would never understand. It would
Hmm.
never understand. It's like, what am I doing? How do I play this? Like there's not enough like big poppy colors on screen, so I'm like always distracted trying to find something that that like appeals to my attention. No man, this is a Mario and Luigi game. Like it's like an RPG, but it's also meant to be fun and exciting for kids. Obviously when you find that there's so many uh when you find that there are a lot of performance issues that could hinder your experience, even as a kid, that could probably hinder your experience. But overall, I don't think that there was never once in my head going through all the footage, all
You
the stuff,
you haven't played it yet?
because I haven't had an opportunity to play.
Yeah, I haven't played it
So
yet either. I'm seeing a lot of sorry to interrupt, but I'm seeing a lot of the same criticism in the game with that it's not looking past on its like previous successes with other Mario and Luigi games, and it seems like the puzzle solving aspect of the game like
mhm.
kind of got either simplified or like they didn't do, because you know how like Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, how like the whole point of having Mario and Luigi is that they're both good at their own separate things, and so you need to
Yes,
switch out between them in order to like solve specific scenarios. I think
yes,
they either dumbed that down or made it simpler, because a common criticism I'm seeing is that like Luigi seems to be more of a hindrance now than an actual like capable partner. Um, and it is something I've read like 2 or 3 times now on X, and a couple of like the IGN review and a couple of Metacritic reviews.
yeah, dude. Like I'm actually going through some of these I'm actually going through some of the comments right now, and it's just, I mean, they're roasting
Yeah,
IGN.
let me actually.
For,
Yeah, I actually want to see the review comments on this from the IGN video. I think that'd be important to look at.
yeah, they're really roasting.
Remember, folks,
Like
IGN
some,
is the same company that gave Concord a 7 out of 10.
yeah, also true.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like you see how bad it did, and then like one of the really the one of the biggest top comments, it had like 100,000, like over 100,000 impressions, was just, so it's like, so it's good then. I'm like, you know what,
Yeah.
I was like, I believe it, I
Yeah.
believe it 100%.
And
Like,
going to what I was saying before, one of the comments on YouTube is saying that IGN criticized the ridiculously chatty dialogue, yet they give Dragon Age a 9. So like, and with the Dragon Age game, the problem with the dialogue is that a lot of people are finding it too cringy, and then not finding it as good and motivating as the Dragon Age like voice actor performances in the previous games. So
actually, you know, I kind of want to look through some of these. I want to read through some of these reviews, like just like like a snippet of like to get like an overall feel for what really is going on with Dragon Age, as far as like why certain, why it's I feel like there's not as much variety in terms of the reviews, the user reviews for some of these games, but also you have to
dude,
remember we
it's
lived.
so crazy because if you just Google Dragon Age: The Veilguard, right, you see
uh
84% on Metacritic, 9 out of 10 on IGN, 5 out of 5 on Eurogamer. The audience rating summary on Google is a 2.3 out of 5 stars. Like, it has so many overwhelmingly 1-star reviews, which is so
yeah,
odd considering all the top reviewers, Metacritic, IGN, Eurogamer, are giving it like above average to really good reviews.
yeah,
So there's definitely seems to, I think a lot of it comes from this divide in the community, that a lot of people are having um like controversial ideals to like the how the art direction, like the direction the art went into, like that it looks much more cartoony in a sense, where Dragon Age was always meant to be like a very heavy fantasy setting, like almost Game of Thrones
yeah,
esque, Lord of the Rings esque,
yeah.
and now it seems to have this like almost like Fortnite quality to it. It's like
Well, I
Fortnite.
wouldn't say. I feel like
I
I don't
definitely
think
would
it's
say
more
they have like
Fortnite.
soft
Hold
bodies.
on, let me. I gotta watch this video because I have to pull this up because
It
I
definitely
thought it
looks very
more.
similar. Like it's
She's
just
so
they're soft bodied. Like the models are so, because the previous Dragon Age is really gritty. Like if you look at like for example, the race that it's in particular, I forget the name of the race. There's a race in Dragon Age that is like a tiefling from Dungeons and Dragons. They have like horns and stuff like that. In
Uh,
Inquisition, that race looks so evil and so menacing. Um, I forget what they're called though. My apologies, but
oh yeah, I can see it now.
but
Now I see it. Now I see it.
but
Because when you
in
look
Veilguard, like it just looks so much less menacing and like less cool in my opinion. It definitely looks like a step down. I understand that it's a different direction, right? It's a different
at,
art direction, but to me
yeah,
it seems like a step down. And I can
yeah,
understand how a lot of other people playing the game who were really into the series for a long time for its particular setting now dislike the setting because it almost comes across as like they're going for something different. They're going for something more lighthearted. When
like hearted.
I'm not saying that the story and the direction of the story is lighthearted, because it could definitely still be dark with its current art direction. It's just I think it's just definitely throwing a lot of people off.
Yeah. Now that I look at it, now I actually look at it, I'm like, oh yeah, I can definitely see where you're getting the
Fortnite vibes.
the Fortnite aesthetic. It's the Fortnite aesthetic. Like it's definitely it kind
It's
of
just
gives
they
that
all look so
sense a
soft.
little bit.
They all look so like
Li-
their bodies look so soft and like I don't know how to explain it. It just looks like
No, no, no. You know what it looks like? It looks like that. It looks like that Ubisoft game that's uh, it, that that it that it's in like Greece. Like, oh my
I
God,
saw
where's the
I
movie called?
saw a YouTuber comment. I forgot who it was, that it looks like the CGI models from Shrek. Like if you look like the characters in Shrek, like Lord Farquaad and stuff like that, like that that it looks like some of the characters look like they're Lord Farquaad or something. Like
Yeah.
it's almost the same animation style as like Shrek.
Oh man, that's what it is. It gives me Immortals Phoenix Rising vibes.
Yes,
Like it's that
yes.
softness. It's that softness
No,
with
but that's
like
the thing. Like, think about it like this. Think like Elder Scrolls, right? Imagine
yes,
Skyrim. Imagine we get Elder Scrolls 6, and Elder Scrolls 6 looks like Immortals Phoenix Rising. We went from
yes.
Skyrim to something that looks like Immortals Phoenix Rising. That's a
Mhm.
huge art direction change. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like
that's a
very
huge shift.
heavy fantasy to still heavy fantasy, but it's so much more whimsical and fairy tale like now.
Yeah.
And it's like I just don't think that's where a lot of fans want to come from, like wanting it to
Mhm.
be.
Yeah. But
Um,
but I think from what I'm looking at in terms of like the review scores, people are still giving it like pretty decent scores, not based on what uh on
dude,
like
the user
what
score on Metacritic is a 3.8.
out of 10.
Yes,
Oi.
on Metacritic. I'm on Metacritic right now. The Meta score from reviewers, critic reviews, 84, and then a user score is a 3.8.
That's because like
Tell me
most of
that's
them
not
giving him a 10.
controversial. That's insane. That's so controversial. From like one spectrum to the other, from an 84
Oh,
to a 38,
let me pull
basically.
up some of these. I'm gonna read you some of these critics these oh my gosh, where is it?
Go, you read a
Can I
critic
not read
score.
it?
I'm gonna read you a user score.
No, that's what I'm doing. I want to read a user score. Actually, no. Actually, you're right. Okay,
Okay.
you read the user score.
We do have to preface this by saying that I'm going to assume right now that a lot of the bad reviews are also due to the fact that this is quote unquote a woke game now,
Yeah,
and so I mean I have no problems with including that type of stuff in my current games, but I understand that other people do. So I'm just gonna
yeah,
preface that now that I think a lot of these negative reviews also come from its cultural changes that they've made to the game.
yeah. Which, in all honesty, who gives a crap?
Yeah,
So
just play the game, have fun.
just
Exactly.
play the game, have fun, guys. Let's. Okay, so my first video, or sorry, my first review is from Game Rant. Dragon Age: The Veilguard certainly closes a chapter for Dragon Age as a whole, but one can't help but look more brightly at the future, one where BioWare has seemingly broke a curse it has been shackled with for years. Wow. Okay. As labyrinthine as a task it would have seemed, Dragon Age: The Veilguard is a promise to fans that BioWare is one of the best storytellers in the medium, one capable of bombastic gameplay and enthralling narratives that linger for years. Game Rant. Wow. That is a review if I've ever read one. It gave it a 100. It gave it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, so
Wow.
I'm reading a lot of these bad reviews. I'm just glancing over a lot of them right now. A lot of them are the whole LGBTQ woke culture
Yeah.
thing going on that people have a problem with. But a lot are saying that Dragon Age, this game doesn't even seem like a Dragon Age game. That it's not what they're used to. They grew up playing Dragon Age Origins and like they was in love with the game, and this just isn't it. This isn't what they
Yeah.
wanted. Um, I was so hyped for this game for so long, and all my expectations were crushed after just a few hours of gameplay. Level designs are bad, lip sync issues are immersion breaking, and almost feels like a Korean game dubbed in English. Wow.
Ooh.
Dialogues
Wow.
dialogues are so forced you can't keep yourself from saying why. Also, I'm saying this as a supporter of the LGBTQ plus community. Those forced woke lines was the last straw for me to quit playing further. I love having diverse characters in my games, but adding diversity by force without creativity will only fuel the haters. Just sad.
I actually agree with that. I'm like,
Yeah,
guys,
if they're
don't make this.
forcing it
Like, if
on
you're
you,
gonna do it, it's like you should not be forcing this crap in there.
yeah,
Like, like, you should, you should do something for the love of the game, not because you are trying to appeal to a certain people or whatever. Like, who cares, bro? Like, just enjoy. Like, people are playing video games to get out. Like, is for immersion, to break from what they're normally doing, like who cares? Like you should just enjoy the game and just and that's it. Like there's no need for this crap. Like it's super unnecessary, at least in my book. So let's see. The first I have a 90 from Games Radar Plus. Let me read it for you real quick. Where are you? Uh, where is it? Where is it? There we go. Dragon Age: The Veilguard is an approachable, expensive, action-oriented RPG that feels like a true end to whatever the franchise was before. The book's not finished, but a significant chapter has closed. While Dragon Age: The Veilguard is undoubtedly different in many ways from its predecessors and takes lessons learned from Mass Effect to heart, there's a lot to love mechanically and narratively about the new normal and what is hopefully a foundation for what's to come. Okay, so that's like a 90. That gives it a 90.
Yeah.
But so far
Yeah, I
it's
just have
not.
some background gameplay footage from Fextra Life right now, just while we talk about this. But
Mm,
I see a lot of people just saying that the game in a lot of ways kind of like took a step backwards, or kind of was just like simplifying a bit, that it didn't like do anything out of the ordinary from like the classic RPG tropes, like classic skill trees and stuff like that, to like make the game more stand out, I guess.
mm,
People are talking about how the UI also just looks like the generic UI for a lot of other RPG games. I've seen people like relating it to like Shadow of Mordor or like Hogwarts Legacy, like how the UI and the skill screens work. Um, but that's a low hanging fruit in my opinion.
yeah, yeah.
But
But I think like as far as the reviews go,
oh, you know what?
like
I'm interested in seeing some Steam reviews as well.
yeah.
That would actually.
Well, as you're bringing that up, I'm going to actually bring. I'll say one more review. This one's from Gaming Age. They gave it a 70. Let's see. Depending on expectations, Dragon Age: The Veilguard can provide a enjoyable action RPG experience. If you're seeking a worthy successor to Dragon Age Origins or even Inquisition in companions or plot, this it doubtless falls short, seeming more comfortable, bland than outright terrible. Okay, so the
Yeah,
combat may seem
it
more,
just seems like they went a comfortable route with the game.
yeah.
From
That's
from
that's that's from what I can kind of read, like what I can kind of tell. Like it doesn't seem like they really took chances. They kind of went the safe route and was just like, we're gonna do this and we're gonna play it safe. I was like, man, this is BioWare. BioWare is huge. Like it's a humongous company and they're playing it safe. Like what is that? I
yeah.
mean, I feel like a lot of companies played safe, and we'll actually talk about Activision, where I do feel like they did play it safe on some of the COD things, like because COD right now is probably one of the biggest games right now. Period. Like full stop. But it's I do feel like a lot of these bigger companies are trying to play it safe because um, they don't want to lose out on money. And I mean, granted, BioWare is just out here trying to make money too, but they really should play. Like when you think about Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age Inquisition, like those were not like safe games. Like I would say those were very like out there in terms of like a Western RPG that like really feels like a Western RPG where it's like if it's dark and it's dreary and it feels like
Dude,
it
and
feels like
to be
Skyrim.
honest, to kind of piggyback on what people are saying, I'm watching like some footage of just like the cutscenes. Like the lip sync does kind of look shitty. The lip syncing kind of just looks boring. And like I honestly think because of the art direction change that they went, like it made it less expressive. Because
Mhm.
since the art direction in the previous Dragon Age games was more realistic in a sense, like it made the mouth movements and eyebrow movements and all of that stuff look more realistic, and their emotions like come through more. Like I just feel like it honestly, it looks like the emotions don't like go through well with these character models. Like
Yeah.
especially in the eyes and the eyebrows, it all kind of just looks one tone here in the face. And then like you see the mouth move, but like the expression on the face like sometimes doesn't even match what they're saying.
Hmm. Well, and it's it can kind of throw off the experience because when you have like really good like visuals and good music, you feel immersed, and
Yeah,
then all
these
of a
are
sudden they
super
have like
immersed
these.
RPGs. Super
Yeah,
immersive.
and then you get stuck and you get hung up on like a facial animation, or like the image quality kind of gets thrown off, or like or it's not even the voice acting. I think it's more the like the voice acting and the facial expression added to it. Like it's just like this combination is uncanny. It's very uncanny.
Hmm.
So it's not it like it kind of it kind of fits. It's like a jigsaw puzzle that kind of fits, but like you feel like there's another piece of the puzzle that's like lying around somewhere,
Yeah.
and you're like, I feel like this one would work better here, but you can't put it there. So it kind of you're kind of stuck between like this kind of fits, but like also it also feels kind of weird. So
Hmm.
I don't know. Like when you look at some of the actual like the level design and like the way things look, like it looks incredible. Like
Hmm.
it looks unbelievable. And
Yeah, yeah.
I've
The
seen it.
levels and like a lot of the areas in the environments, it does look still like a very pretty game. It's just the art direction is definitely gonna throw people off. It just doesn't look like this gritty medieval fantasy type of setting anymore. It looks more fantastical in nature, more mythical, more
Yeah.
fairy tale like.
Mm.
You know.
I think
Um.
it, I think that kind of bleeds in with like the game, like the actual combat too. Like you can tell when you're fighting things. Like, is this a rated M game? Is this an M game?
I think it has to be. I,
Is it?
yeah. I think it has to be. Let me look. Um.
Because like, it's like, is there even blood in this game? Because I was looking at it, I was like, this seems super like very fantastical in the way that like you watch it and you're like, there's a lot of like sparks and effects and all this other stuff,
I don't even know where you
and you're
would
like
see where this game is rated.
on the box. Was that a stupid comment?
Rated M. Rated M.
That's
No, I
like,
mean I did find it on the box. I did go to Google Images and find it on the game box. I just googled Dragon Age Veilguard and I'm like, where do I see the rating for this game? But yeah, I went to
Mm,
the images and saw it. It's rated M. No, because also it
yeah,
goes over mature themes, like it goes over death and stuff like that, so it has to be rated M. Even if there wasn't any blood,
uh,
like plus the fact that you can be non-binary and the whole transgender thing, like that
yeah,
it just kind of
it,
has to be rated M at that point.
yeah. I was like, you kind of have to keep gotta keep it away from the kids for sure. You can't even do it teen. Like you can't even do it teen. Like I don't even remember games being like I don't even remember last time I saw a game that was rated teen at this point because I feel like it's either E or it's M, and that's
Yeah,
it.
I feel the same. I feel the same way.
All right,
The game
so
environment does really look good. Yeah, but let's
yeah,
move on to something else.
and the combat does feel pretty nice. Like it does look really good. But regardless, take it as you will. I feel like take I would say when it comes to actual reviews,
Hmm.
take everything that you because all of us we're not made of money. Like I'm not made of money, you're not made of money. We don't have all the money in the world to be spending. I there's no doubt that we use these reviews for a purpose. Like there is a reason, and a lot of it is for purchasing power. Like we need to know whether or not it's a game that we want to play or if
Yeah,
it's not a game that we want to play.
reviews are
Like
important.
take yeah, I do think that they're a big part. They serve a big purpose for us as gamers. I think it's very important to take all the information that you can and then take that into account before you go out and buy something. Because and in real honesty, I do think that review bombing games is trash. Like that's my full like my honest opinion. I think review bombing is garbage. And can ruin certain games. Like they did that to Warhammer 40K. Like not, they didn't bomb it out of existence, but like they changed like one specific thing and they started review bombing it. I'm like,
Hmm.
guys, like these are great games. Like
Yeah,
don't go off like telling people not to play the game just because you don't like a certain aspect of the game. Like I get that there's a hardcore player base to some of these games, but all these things can be hammered out in like with updates. You can hammer
Yeah.
these things out with certain updates to the game. You don't have to like review bomb it out of existence. Though I understand why, because you want these people to like understand that you don't like something. But you can also just tweet at them, be like, "Hey, we really don't like this," and if there are enough people that complain about it, they'll do something about it. Like, don't. I think it when you do something like that, it can really make a game like absolutely like it you know what ends up happening, those games get blown out of existence like that, end up being like super gems later on down the road, when people are like, oh, a bunch of people didn't end up playing this game because it got review bombed out, like just like completely like blindsided. A lot of
I
people
feel
didn't end
more
up
often
playing
than
it,
not
but
that
it's actually a
happens with
good
a lot
game.
of like small time indie games that get
Yeah,
review
for sure.
bombed like right off the bat, and then like a couple years later the game will go through like tons of patches and stuff like that, and then it ends up being like a really good game. But
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
kind of want to
So
end this discussion before we move on. I do want to end this discussion. I think there's a really important, controversial topic to talk about here.
mm,
I wouldn't be able to give my full sense on it, but Fexture Life put out a video before the official review, their official review of this, called the Truth About Dragon Age Veilguard Reviews. It has almost 1 million likes already. It's a week old video before the embargo or whatever got lifted and they could actually give their reviews.
mm,
But in this video, he briefly talks about how him and a few other YouTubers, like review YouTubers, put out impression videos of what they thought with their early impressions of Dragon Age. And based off those impressions, whether they gave it like a mediocre or like bad or whatever type of score or like just a bad impression, just based off like their alpha or beta gameplay test of it, BioWare stopped all communication with them and didn't send them review copies of the game. And I'm not here trying to say that like every YouTuber reviewer deserves a review copy of their game to like review the game, but
mm.
like there definitely seems to be this like disconnect between video game companies and reviewers, and I think at the end of the day, like game companies should trust their reviewers and not just like be butthurt that they gave the game a bad impression. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, like they could still give it a good review. But I think this is
Yeah.
a really important like discussion to talk about, especially like the Fexture Life's take on this is really important because his channel is dedicated pretty much to reviewing these type of games, like Western
Mm.
RPGs, Western open world RPGs, and like
Yeah.
the fact that BioWare wouldn't trust him in basically giving like a faithful review of this game,
Mm.
it like just goes to show like this disconnection of trust that there seems to be between like video game companies and reviewers. But
But I also think they have like an actual stake in it, in that like they want these people, these reviewers, to give them good review scores so that they can end up making more money. That's it like
yeah,
directly correlates
that's
and
what
goes in
it
line.
is. It is all business. It is all business.
Yeah.
And there's a lot riding on BioWare's line for this game to do well, considering
Of
like
course.
people have been waiting a decade for the newest Dragon Age game, and
Of
Dragon Age
course.
is a super beloved series. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Hmm.
just so I do
But
see their side as well in the fact that they want to protect their IP and they want to
yeah.
protect their bottom dollar, their bottom line.
Yeah. But
Um,
at the same time, always remember that you, as like the reviewers who get review copies, you do not have a you do not have to accept someone's review copy if they give it to you, like, because there's a lot of things that go about getting a review copy for a game. They have to see your review ahead of, like, whether it be seeing a review ahead of time, whether you're getting paid for it, blah blah blah. They can get, there's a lot of different things that are avenues that end up having to happen when they give you a review copy. They don't just give you a review copy and be like, oh, go have fun. Like, they expect something out of you, because it is a base it basically it's like it's a transaction. It's a transaction that happens.
yeah,
So, like, remember that you don't have to. You can literally just go out and buy the game yourself and give your honest feedback. There are a lot of reviewers who review even some of the people I watch, not just for games, but even for like hardware. Like they'll give out like a review unit for like a piece of hardware, like Retro Game Core that I love watching. But they'll say they'll talk about it where they're like, oh, uh no, there's no money that was exchanged in any way. Like they're not gonna see my review ahead of time. Like there's parameters, set parameters for these companies, because like if they don't set your parameter, just be like, you know what, I'll play it when it comes out and I'll give my review on it. Like I get the reason behind getting ahead of the curve, because people get to watch it sooner, people, you know all that stuff. Sure, I understand the reason why you would want to get your review copy ahead of time, but if it does not align with how you feel about like what you think about the game, just, or like maybe there's too many parameters that you don't want to agree to. It's like, bro, it's okay to just step away. Like just step away from it and just and be like, you know what, I'm gonna play the game, I'm gonna buy the game when it comes out, and I'm gonna give my honest feedback. That's totally fine. Do you, bro? But at the same time, this is all transactional for them. But for us, this means a lot more than just being transactional. Like a lot of these games, we really do care about these games. That's why we give, like, whether it's an actual crap review or whether it's a great review, like we want people to know about it. Like, a lot of these companies, this is all transaction. So you take it for what you can, for what you will,
Yeah.
and you make the right decision for your channel and for all of us who are actually watching this content, because it does affect us when we go out and we go looking for games to buy. You know. Wow, that was a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we talked a lot on this topic. Important topic to talk about, but we should move on.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, what do we bring up?
You want to talk about Nintendo Music?
Sure. So, okay, so this is a really random. So all of us here are thinking to ourselves like, oh, Nintendo's gonna bring out they're gonna do it like an announcement, whatever. It was super random, and I actually got like this super random. It was like trending on X, where Nintendo was supposed to make an announcement, and it was blowing up, blowing up. And so all of us are like wondering, it's like, what are they gonna talk? What are they gonna bring up? Is this the new Nintendo Switch 2? All of us are like, ah. And then all of a sudden we get this, we get Nintendo Music, we get an app, and all of us are like, oh, but like,
I'm gonna download the app for sure.
We're all like, we're all downcast, but at the same time, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this app is really cool. So in order to get the app, you have to have a Nintendo Switch Online account. So if you don't have a Nintendo Switch Online account, you can't access it. I'm just telling you like it is. This is a business to them, so
So they have tracks as old as Super Nintendo on here.
Yes,
man, I'd be really interested to see if they add Final Fantasy tracks to this.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. I really wouldn't.
Final Fantasy is no longer part of Nintendo, but like for a long time, up until like Final Fantasy VI, yeah, Final Fantasy was a Nintendo, like published through Nintendo. So I wonder if like they would add like the original soundtracks from Final Fantasy on here. That'd be pretty interesting. That'd be really cool.
Well, let me just read off some of the when you go into the actual app itself. There are a bunch of, it kind of reminds me of Spotify, and to be entirely honest, like it definitely has like that layout. So I'm already familiarized myself with like the way that it looks. So that for me, that's like an A plus. That's definitely like Nintendo, where they would take something that is they find successful.
You can extend the length of songs. That's pretty cool.
So
That's pretty cool.
right now I'm in one of their like little sections. It's Nintendo Music Selects. And just going through it, here are some of the things here are some of the games. Like if you're curious about like, oh, should I download the app? Like if you even like some of these games, like in terms of like their music, you should think about getting this app. So they have Wii channels. So they have like just like when you're in like, just imagine yourself playing Wii. Imagine yourself in Wii Plaza, that music. they have it here. Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. They have Nintendogs. Super random, but okay. They have Dr. Mario, the original Dr. Mario that was on the DMG Dr. Mario. Like it's that old. They have Super Mario Brothers. They have Super Mario Odyssey. They have Pokemon Scarlet and Violet music. They have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe music, which is great. I'm super big fan of that. They have Star Fox 64. Actually, once this live stream and this whole thing is done, that's gonna be the one I listen to next. Is Star Fox 64. Super Mario World. They have Kirby's Dream Land, another DMG, which is like they have Fire Emblem. So if they have Fire Emblem, for sure they probably have like some of. I don't know if they have.
I honestly don't think they'll add Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy has been too long apart from Nintendo for them to like include that. There's definitely going to be some IP issues there.
Yeah, but let us know in the comments if you've seen it. I haven't seen it yet, but
it is super cool, man. To have a hub for a lot of Nintendo music, that's really awesome, because a lot of this music is like, I mean, you know how well Nintendo holds on to their IPs, like
oh yeah,
they copyright the fuck out of their titles. So it's really cool to have a space to listen to all this music. Is it completely free? Oh, yes. The Nintendo membership. The Nintendo membership. That's right.
If you have a Nintendo Switch Online account, this is free. You just have to log in to your when you download the app, it'll prompt you to be like, oh, sign in to your Nintendo Switch Online account, and then it'll pull up your thing, and it'll say like, oh, you have the subscription, so you can get this whole thing for free. And it's really cool, just all of the different things, like how they have certain playlists laid out. Like, you know, it has like a you may also like aspect to it. They have like certain games like Animal Crossing, Legend of Zelda, Mario Odyssey, like things that, like, I guess they found out that you like the game because it ties to your Nintendo Switch Online account. So it may see the games that you've already played, which would actually be really cool. Like if it could see what games that you played before,
mm-hmm.
or like and then give you that it would give you
like a recommended playlist based off what you already own or play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then it has like certain characters. If you like certain characters in certain games, they give you playlists based on that, like Yoshi, Rosalina, KK Slider, obviously, because freaking Animal Crossing. Yes.
Yeah.
Zelda, Ganondorf, and then
the Animal Crossing and the Zelda is for sure gonna be like the top plays.
I love how it has like a powering up playlist. It's like, is this like music?
It has a gym playlist.
I don't know if it's.
No, it has to be. What else would powering up mean?
It's just like up tempo tracks.
It has a hype beast workout playlist.
Hey, let's go.
That's cool.
Yeah, dude, and I think they do plan on adding more soundtracks to it. Just this. I don't know if you brought up the article, but they do have they have added more tracks to the entire service itself. So like they bring out K. Rool Returns, a lot of like, so they brought up like Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest. So they brought a bunch of their music into the app. So I think they're going to be continuously adding more tracks to the app. I think that is like something that I really like about what they're doing with the app, as far as like, it's not just like a cash grab, like they're adding more tracks to it. I think that really enhances the experience of like just listening to it. But
sorry, I'm just reading the comments from this Nintendo Music announcement trailer. People meme on Nintendo so hard. It's so funny. My favorite Nintendo song is "Video Unavailable Due to Copyright Claim." I listen to it every day. Like, no, these are so funny.
But
alarm clocks to music apps is crazy.
Dude, it's just it really blows my mind that they brought like it's like here we are looking. We're like avidly searching for a hint at the Nintendo Switch 2. Like we're all looking for it. We're looking for like announcements, and we want like it's like oh, there's like an announcement that's
We get a
happening for
music app.
Nintendo Switch, and then we get a music app and a freaking alarm
Alarm
clock,
clock.
and I'm like, what is happening, bro? What is? It's like we're being trolled. We're at this point. We're sorry, I hit the mic. We're being trolled by Nintendo at this point.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain of it. Like they know how much we're looking for this, and they're not giving it to us. They're not doing it at all.
So
And
to keep up with announcements, Javi, I just sent you something that I kind of want to go over, like kind of impromptu. This was news from this week from Nintendo that I don't know how big this is for you, but for me, this is a huge deal.
oh yeah, this was enormous.
Yeah,
You kidding?
Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition announcement trailer.
We throwing it up here now.
I'm just gonna put it up now.
Okay.
So this
Yeah.
this came completely out of nowhere. I saw this on my feed. Man, this has 1.1 million views. That's huge for a Xenoblade game.
Here we are.
Yeah, it's huge
Yeah,
for a
for
Xenoblade
for a
game. People-
JRPG to get a million views on a remake trailer, like
Oh yeah. But like, when was the last time we got? Okay, so just to put it in context, the last time that we got a Xenoblade game.
yeah. But you know
Was
that this
Xenoblade
one was the one
one-
for the Wii U, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Xenoblade Chronicles X originally came out about a decade ago, 2015. That's actually kind of nuts. So yeah, I never got to play this because I never owned the Wii U.
About to say it's like they're putting out all these games that are like Wii U games, which is actually a really smart idea.
Listen, all we're
They
waiting for is Wind Waker, Wind
Wind
Waker,
Waker,
and
guys.
Twilight Princess. If we
Nintendo, let's be real about this. Wind Waker. I don't even
before
care about anything else.
Yeah.
Wind Waker, my guys.
either before the end of the Switch 1's lifetime or going into the Switch 2's birth, we need Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD. We really need that.
Okay, okay. So this actually goes into a broader topic that I wanted to bring up because this was we kind of touched on it last week, but I think after watching this Xenoblade Chronicles release trailer, it actually like brought it back to me. I was like, oh, you know what? We talked about like how old should a game be for it to get a remaster, and I'm like, this game came out in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
That was almost 10 years ago. I think that's the perfect time.
I think
To
that's the
get
perfect
a
time
good-
too. Yeah.
I think that's perfect. I think anything 10 years and older, we like. I think it's all game. I think it's all game for a remaster.
Yeah.
And if it's from a beloved franchise like Xenoblade, I think all the better. I think it works out great in their favor. And some of these kids have never played a Xenoblade Chronicles game in their entire life, and they probably don't know what it's like to play one of these games. So I think that actually works in their favor. And play like get it from like a console that didn't do that well. Like not many of us played a Wii U because not many of us owned a Wii U, but the Wii got like fantastic, like so many people bought a Wii. Like I bought a Wii. Holy crap! Like it was hard to find people that didn't buy a Wii. But Wii U, not many people owned a Wii U.
And
So there are a lot of-
Xenoblade Chronicles X, this is one of the better looking titles. Because it came from the Wii U, this was meant to be like a more like high quality title, because before this it was just Xenoblade Chronicles 1 that we had, which was for the Wii. And so then when X came out, it was meant to be like next gen title, better graphics. But then when Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and 3 came out, that came out for the Switch, which is technically like not as good looking as the Wii U, being a like plug-in console, you know.
Yeah.
And not a handheld console. But listen, people really love this game. Xenoblade Chronicles X, like people think that this is like a big sleeper in terms of like the best Xenoblade game out there. It does kind of
Really?
Yeah.
It's up there in conversation in terms
No,
of
no, no,
like
for sure, for
how
sure.
good
I've
like
seen
how good it
I've
is.
seen people do thing is it's very underground because not a lot of people play this one because for some reason this one kind of rubbed people off a weird way cuz this one went back into the whole thing of like the mechs where there's mechs in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 but not as much as in 1 and 2 but
Yeah.
The Xeno series which started with Xenogears and then we
Yeah.
had Xenosaga 1, 2, and 3. They've always had mechs. It's always been like sort of like a mech series. Just Chronicles kind of went away from the whole mech thing.
Yeah.
And then X was this return back into like bringing mechs as like a mainstay into the Xeno series.
Yeah.
I love it. I've seen a lot of people do video essays about this game and talk about how like it was honestly ahead of its time when it came out in 2015.
It definitely looks like
yeah.
a game that's ahead of its time. Like
Yeah.
just
From what I know, it has a massive world. Massive.
it looks enormous. It looks freaking enormous. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it kind of gives me it definitely gives me like Final Fantasy 7 like Midgard vibes where it's like
Oh, I kind of do feel that. Yeah, the overworld kind of does feel like that.
yeah, dude. Like I don't know why. It's
It
just,
kind of
like,
has this like technologically advanced and very floral atmosphere.
yes.
Like yeah, it's like kind of futuristic, but also very like much involved with nature. I do know like the aesthetic you're talking about.
Yeah, and I mean, I granted, I'm not really big on mechs. Like, I'm not like a mech fan, like how you're a mech fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but there's a lot to really like in terms of like not only just like visually, but I mean, if anybody knows anything about Xenoblade, like the story is like top notch, game like battle mechanics are top notch. Like, this must be a real top tier, like a really top tier, uh like game in the series for it to get a remaster. You know, because this announcement came out of left field, Chris. Left field.
Completely.
Nowhere, no one was expecting this game to come out, let alone have a remaster. It's like who is clamoring for, like, after playing Xenoblade Chronicles 3, who else was at, it's like after that you're like, I guess it's done. I guess it's over.
Yeah, so like the comments are saying
I don't need anything
the
else.
comments are saying they really just announced one of the most requested Wii U game ports out of nowhere, 10,000 likes. This announcement was just uncontrollable. I have a friend whose status on Discord has been waiting for Xenoblade X news for 9 years. To me, it's almost a decade. For Nintendo, it's just Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like, guys, I don't think they understood.
No, dude, this is a big ass trailer to get 1 million views. Like, dude, JRPG titles, like, they don't get 1 million views in a week. Like, for trailers. Like
No.
This is very highly anticipated. For example,
Yeah,
like
this
the Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake, which I'm super fucking excited for. That trailer came out.
It's coming out.
That trailer came out 3 weeks ago and has 200,000 views, a fifth of what Xenoblade Chronicles X has in 3 times the amount of time.
Yep, it's been like almost like, I feel like it's been like 3 months or like 4 months or something. It's been like an exorbitant amount of time.
Yeah.
It's like this game has literally been announced over a week and it's got 1.15 million views, 62,000 likes. It's huge. This game is enormous and it's still rising. It's still going up. Like, it's still nuts. And you know, it's just I think it really goes to show how important Xenoblade Chronicles is to a lot of people. Like, this game really is like that comment where it's like, oh, like that, you know, to me it's almost a decade. For Nintendo, it's just Tuesday. Like, that really does hit. Like, that really does hit.
No,
like,
the Xeno series
really
has
makes
also really had a very dedicated fan base because of the fact that it's such a long running series dating back all the way to Xenogears, like back during the time of like Final Fantasy 6, Final Fantasy 7 in the late 90s, and then brought it back with the Xenosaga in the early 2000s. Then with the release of Chronicles, like Xenoblade Chronicles brought about so many new fans to the Xeno series, but like there was already such an old dedicated fan base to this series as well. So it's just really nice to see like a lot of people are excited for this. all at once, you know.
Guys, this game is coming. This game is coming
Yeah, this
out,
one
and
is March 20th.
yep, March 20th, 2025. Get in your pre-orders. I mean, for sure. I feel like a ton of people are gonna get their pre-orders for this game. These guys are not gonna have any time at all getting this game, like getting this to 1 million sales. Like this game has blown it out of the water. At this point, this is like the GTA 6 of Xenoblade Chronicles. Like this is how big this game was when they released. I think at this point, all the Xenoblade Chronicles have officially been ported over to Switch once this game comes out. So that's it. Like they all the Xenoblade Chronicles games are going to be on Switch. I think we can all live our fantasy of playing this game, like playing from start to finish, and spending literally like over 1,000 hours just playing this
Yeah.
game. Because honestly, I think if you played
A
all
lot of
of them,
people talk about this title, Chronicles X. It's a very like kind of like hidden gem title because it was on the Wii U and not a lot of people got a chance to play it, but it really is a beloved title.
yeah.
Um, Damn, I was gonna say something else about it, but I forgot. Hopefully, I'll come back later. We
I don't
can
know.
move on to. You want to talk about Rivals of Aether 2?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. Let's talk about it.
So I just have the launch trailer playing right now, but have you played? Did you know about Rivals of Aether before I brought it up to you?
Nope, I had no idea about this game, and I mean, but I am a big fan. So I am a really big fan of, Smash Brothers esque type games.
Mm-hmm.
So is what is it? Is it like a what's
I
that?
don't know what you call these type of games.
It's like a battle arena, but it's
Yeah,
not
like
like a MOBA. It's
battleground fighters or something like that, or like battle arena fighters. Yeah.
Yeah,
There is a term for it, but I forget the name. I mean, there isn't much of these type of games, but
no, there really isn't. I know that Nickelodeon has theirs
Yeah.
from like.
so
I know
Rivals
they
of
have-
Aether, even though it's never had like the huge amount of success that Smash has had, just being kind of like quote unquote a Smash clone, a lot of people still play Rivals of Aether. Like, there's even tournaments for this title, for this game and stuff too, that people play, like small tournaments. Like I know a lot of like pro Smash players end up taking breaks to play like Rivals of Aether. So it's definitely got very good mechanics behind it for like pro Smash players to go to it and enjoy it, you know?
Oh yeah.
I just think that Rivals of Aether doesn't have like a huge character cast. From what I remember, I think it only has like 8 to 10 characters. I don't know how much this one has. I haven't seen much new gameplay of the second title. I'm gonna look at some other footage from Alpharad to see some like actual gameplay footage that's not edited.
So is this game coming out like? This game is out on Steam. Is it out on anything else, or is it out on like everything?
I think maybe just Steam right now. Let me see. Rivals of Aether 2.
Yeah,
It's only
it's-
on Steam at the moment, yeah.
It's only on Steam.
Yeah, Rivals of Aether 1 was available on more devices. Yeah, it's available like on Switch, Xbox, and Steam.
Okay, so more than likely, this game probably gets ported over to Xbox, for sure. I mean, if it's on Steam, for sure, it's gonna get a Xbox release. Do you think it's gonna get a release on PlayStation, maybe Nintendo?
I don't know. I think these games kind of just exist on Windows, to be honest.
Yeah,
Just
I could-
because
I could see
just
that.
because they're kind of like indie like titles. So like they don't get released as like full like 40, 50, $60 games. Rivals of Aether 1 I think was like just like $15 or something when I got it. And now 2 is $27. So yeah, they're cheap games. Oh, it's 27 because I think it's a 10% sale. I think it's usually $30 right now. But but yeah, I think I'm gonna pick this up. I really enjoyed my time with Rivals of Aether 1. It came out 9 years ago. I had no idea that game was that old now. But yeah, and the game has a very big mod community as well. I know a lot of people play Rivals of Aether with mods to like include more characters or just like do other things with the mechanics of the game.
Yeah.
I think I always like to see competition in fighting games, especially like
Oh yeah.
with games that are trying to like emulate like the Smash style of gameplay.
Hmm.
I don't think that like the Nintendo All Stars and then PlayStation did theirs, like, or it was like Nickelodeon. I'm sorry, it was Nickelodeon and PlayStation had their own. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think they do too well because I don't think their mechanics are on point.
Yeah.
I think they do well because they introduce a lot of characters to the game that a lot of people want to play your favorite characters, but the
Hmm.
mechanics, I mean like people continue to play Smash to this day, every version of Smash. Smash 64, Smash Melee, Brawl, Project M,
Awesome.
the Ultimate, um because of the mechanics, because the game is so
Hmm.
fun to play, the controls are so slick and nice, it's so easy to combo, like to get good at the game, it's just fun to play.
Yep.
And I honestly feel the same about Rivals of Aether. Rivals of Aether, it has a very like tight controls. Like it feels very nice. Like converging from one attack to another and doing a combo. It definitely feels like you're playing uh like a fast character in Smash, like a Fox or a Falco.
Yeah.
Like that's really what Rivals of Aether feels like. It feels like a very fast paced indie type of Smash game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you pitched to me like the reason why I would get this game, like the reason why I would pick this game up, is it because of the mechanics, or is it because is it like what's like the thing that, like, if you were to tell me it's like
Yeah, gameplay
this
mechanics.
is
Gameplay mechanics for
yeah.
sure. I mean, the art style is simple. It's charming. It's like
Hmm.
vibrant in its own way, and the characters designs. I do like the characters. I like how they're all like different animal types. I
Hmm.
kind of enjoy that. Like let me see. Right now, I'm looking at the character roster: 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
I
It's
think
it's
there's
10 characters
yeah,
currently.
there's 10 characters.
I
It's like
think
the original Super Smash
Yeah,
Bros.
yeah. I think they do tend to add more characters as it goes on. I do like that the character designs are all animals. It is pretty charming in its own sense. I do also like that they kind of fit like a bit of a theme too. Like the characters, like they fit like a colored theme. I don't know how to explain it. Like there's like red characters, green characters, blue characters, and like purple characters.
Yeah.
I don't know if that necessarily puts them into like a certain role as to like what type of character each one is based off their color, like either like a fast or heavy character or light character. um
Mhm.
but but yeah, I do like the designs a lot, and the combat looks really nice, to be honest.
It
I'm
looks
actually
so fast. Like it
Yeah,
looks so like very precise, like very
that's what I'm saying.
precision.
Every character kind of feels like a fast Smash character, like just
Yeah.
like a fast paced Smash character.
But also has enough variety where it's not just about being fast. It's about being like precise in your movements and precise in the actions that you take against your enemy. Like, and everybody has their particular kit. I think that's pretty much one of the big things when it comes to like these Smash style games, is that it all is dependent on the kit that certain characters bring to the table. And if there's enough variety in their kit to really be like, I love this character, this is the one I play, this is my main, like there's like a level of pride that comes with being like a certain, like, I feel like there's to being a certain main. Like there's some people that main certain characters in like Smash that like use, like when you say it, you're like, what? You what? Like, are you
Yeah.
sure? Like, are you okay in the head? Are
you
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 good?
you main the
Or
Pikmin guy.
yeah, it's
you
like
you
you
main
made
you main Wii Fit trainer.
no, like I think there's enough. That's what I really like about having like a smaller roster, is that like obviously Nintendo has like a humongous team behind them, and like the Smash team has like a humongous like group around them to make sure that everybody has like their own particular style and kit.
Hmm.
Not everybody's very the same, but like with these types of games, it's like they're indie. So like, I actually enjoy the fact that there's only like 10 people in this, that allows for the team to really be intentional when it comes to creating their kit, so that when you're playing them, you feel powerful regardless of how you want to play. Like depending on your style, you may gravitate towards a particular character, and that will give you an edge against your opponent. But you also have to, balance out the weaknesses too. So I think that definitely looks like the case here with this game with Rivals of Aether 2. Um, I feel like there's plenty of things to like about all the different characters. It just depends on how you want to play the game, and I think that in and of itself goes to like the reason why they created a second game in the first place is because the game did successfully, and they want to bring they I wouldn't be surprised I wouldn't be surprised if it did pretty decent. I don't think it's gonna break records, but I think it's definitely gonna do well. I definitely think so.
Yeah. Do you wanna end today's episode talking about your experience with Call of Duty, and I'll talk about my experience with Monster Hunter?
Sure. Okay, so this is actually it's big for me because personally so
Let me just start off by saying I have some background footage from Gamer Ranks or Game Ranks, just discussing the game. Just to have some footage of gameplay.
of COD.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this may be a bit controversial for some people, but I think this Call of Duty was probably the best Call of Duty I played since Modern Warfare. And I'm not even saying that to be light. I'm just being honest because I haven't been very excited about a Call of Duty game in so long that when I started seeing all these reviews that I was doing really well, that that people are jumping on this game and people are loving the game, like just the gameplay experience, whether it be like the campaign, whether it be multiplayer, whether it be everything that goes into this game, people are loving this game. And so I was like, oh man, I don't know if I want to give this game a shot because like this game, first off, like the amount of space this game takes up in your PS5 is so abysmal. It's like horrifying. And I'm like, oh man, but I really want to try this game. Like I do want to try it. Like if people are really liking this game, and I just want to I want to at least understand why. And so there's actually a ton of reasons why this game actually did really well. And primarily it's going to be a lot of the missions that are brought about in the game. There's tons of mission variety and flexibility. Like they have diverse gameplay. You can either like actually one of the really big things that I really liked about this game was that like you have like say for example you go into a situation in
I see
in
they
campaign mode.
brought back the slide from like
Oh
how
yeah,
the
I'm gonna
slide
talk
used
about
to be, because like
I'm gonna talk
they
about
had,
movement.
yeah, they had nerfed the slide at one point in like Modern Warfare like 3 or 2 or 3 or whatever, because I
Yeah.
remember like people were going crazy with it, like the
Oh
the
yeah.
slide canceling and stuff. But it looks like they kind of brought back how fast the slide used to be.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different things going on with movement. Actually, first off, let's talk about movement because movement is kind of nuts in this game. So they brought about this thing that they're calling omni movement, like it's called an omni movement system that basically enables you to kind of sprint in any direction,
Mm.
which is kind of nuts. Like it doesn't even matter. Like the only reason you would die, like that you would, I guess, slide is just to kind of throw off somebody's like
Aiming pattern, yeah.
actual aiming pattern, not because of how fast you're moving. It's because primarily like it's just to throw off your actual aim. Like there's actual reasons as to like I mean you're everyone I feel like everyone is in automatic sprint mode, especially when it comes to like multiplayer. Everyone's like in automatic sprint, moving, guns blazing. Everyone's like nonstop. Holy cow. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, this game makes you feel like you are on speed. It's freaking nuts. Like it's everyone's moving so quickly and things happen so immediately that it's like it's hard to find your footing sometimes. It felt I definitely felt that way when I first started playing when I first played multiplayer. So, so at me there was they kind of bring it to the fact that this game has a very high learning curve. So if you are a big fan of Call of Duty, you're gonna be fine. Like if you love Call of Duty, you're gonna be totally fine. but there is a learning curve to this game, like whether it be like within the movement, whether it be the actual gun, the guns that you're using, the mechanics that you have to kind of get used to, all the different things that that a a Call of Duty game would actually have. Like they're very. I mean, it's just like it's definitely Activision leaning into what they know best and what they do best, which I feel like a lot of the reviews they talked about um, that this game played it safe. That Activision played it safe, and I do think that they did play it safe, especially when it came to the multiplayer. They didn't want to screw it up, which they have every right to be like, "Yo, let's not go too crazy too early. We can kind of tweak it out later on down the road, with like a patch." And they've been constantly putting out patches. Like Activision's been nonstop with this game, and for good reason because the player count. Chris, did you have the player count? What was
Yeah, it
the
was
player
half a
count?
million.
Bro,
It was like
freaking
480,000.
nuts! It's freaking nuts. It is outrageous how many people are playing this game, especially on multiplayer. But one of the big things for me is the campaign. Like I feel like I know people don't play Call of Duty for the campaign because it was like why does it matter? Like people mostly play it for the multiplayer. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
I get it,
its all time peak was 480,000.
dude. Freaking nuts, dude. Freaking nuts. But for people who are on the fence, let me just break it down. Campaign is great because they have a bunch of mission variety and flexibility because you can either like you're put into a situation and you can either go stealth or complete
Damn, it's crazy.
guns
Monster
blazing.
Hunter Wilds had the same numbers. Monster Hunter
Yeah, dude.
Wilds had 460,000 for a
Yeah,
beta.
for a beta.
For a
For a
goddamn beta.
beta.
Yeah.
It's freaking crazy. It's freaking crazy. They have good what else? It has good level design. It has good character development throughout the game. Like I I mean, you wouldn't even really expect this when it comes to like a Call of Duty game that you would be very focused on like level design, having it be high quality, having some of the objectives be open ended, multiple completion methods. Like it's very difficult to find that level of complexity within a Call of Duty game, but they kind of brought it here and it works really well. They brought up a good level design, so um, the character development is really well done. The cast for this is fantastic. Voicing the expressions. First off, this game is super detailed. Like it is so unbelievably detailed that I feel like I could be looking at somebody sweating. Like you can see the beads of sweat on these people's faces. And like when people talk, it's very like in your face. Like it's very like you feel the weight of it. Like it's very strong, and I
Hmm.
and I really enjoy that. For even though the campaign is like approximately, I think it's 8 hours. I think it was just enough for me to be like, this game is great. This was fantastic.
You play through the campaign?
I haven't finished it all, but I've read around that it's like 6 to 8 hours. Like it's 6 if you're blazing through it. It's 8 hours if you play it like a normal person. I play games like pretty much like any other Joe Schmo, so um, I think I'm gonna finish it in about 8 hours. But I think that's just the right amount of time because other than that, like there's so much replayability with like the multiplayer that even though it is very like that even though Activision kind of played it, they did play it safe. Like this is a game that I could definitely see myself calling up my friends and being like, "Hey, it's like, do you want to play a game of COD? Like, do you want to play COD with me tonight or whatever?" And I'd be super down. Like I'm ready. Like I'm super down. But overall, that was my experience. Um, Obviously, if you don't like this style of game, like if it's not your cup of tea, you you won't like this game because it's just Activision leaning into what they do best when it comes to these games. They gave the best Call of Duty game, like the best Call of Duty Black Ops game that they could provide. They just gave it to us, and it is fantastic. This isn't Modern Warfare. Like this is a Black Ops game, true and true, like tried and true, and they nailed it. They freaking nailed it. So I just want to say good on you guys, Activision, for really nailing this because I know that you guys always put these games out, so there's always one just around the corner. But they definitely nailed it with this. Definitely for the next iteration in the series, go this route.
Black Ops 6.
Like you guys nailed it. Do more of this. This is what we're looking for. This was A class. You guys nailed it. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I think I'm not huge in Call of Duty. I've just haven't been ever huge to the series. I've had my little fixes with the series in the past, like playing Modern Warfare, the remaster that they did of it, because they did like a remake of I played that quite a bit, and I think I played a bit of Black Ops 3 or 4. I don't remember what it was, and I remember really liking the movement in that one. It was like really crazy with I think it had like wall running and everything too. Like
dude, that's I think that's Black Ops 3. No, can't remember. Now you have me second guessing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, there's a new iteration of Call of Duty comes out every year, and it's like, to me, it almost seems like the same game that you're playing over and over. But hey, if you like these type of games, then you like them. I definitely like them as like a quick fix, quick dopamine kick. You know what I mean? But
it's like this is a dopamine kick to the max, guys. Yeah. If you haven't played this game, definitely check it out because I think for somebody who has really enjoyed Call of Duty, but I'm not really as big as some of my other friends and some of my family members who play this game, that when I jumped into this game, it really opened my eyes to be like, yo, this game is great. Like, it's a fantastic game. So definitely give this game a shot if you're on the fence about it. Obviously there are a lot of other games that are out and they're still coming out. Like, I feel like they're like the month isn't over and we still have what's that game that's coming out on the 14th? Oh my god, there's a game that's coming out on the 14th this
Brothership
month. That is a Brothership? No, I don't think so. I'll tell you right now, because there are a lot of games that are coming out this month. Where is it? Metro Awakening. Dragon Quest 3. Dragon Quest 3 comes out November 14th.
Nice.
So does Lego Horizon. If you like Lego games, I mean, go for it. But but there's a ton of other games that are coming out soon. So I'll kind of round them up at the end. But,
yeah. I do want to talk a little bit about my experience with Monster Hunter Wilds, the beta. So yes, I'm playing Fextra Life's gameplay review of the beta as just some background footage. This game's incredible. I mean, it honestly, it did so well. For those of you who don't know my experience with the Monster Hunter series, I came in around Generations Ultimate. And so when World came out, I was part of like the whole new crowd coming into Monster Hunter World. I put over like 200 hours into World. I've put over like 300 to 400 hours into Monster Hunter Rise. I love the Monster Hunter series. If I'm being honest, I was a much bigger fan of Rise than I was World, just purely based off the fact of like the combat speed and the movement capabilities you had in Rise just made me enjoy Rise more. Wilds is such a nice culmination of Worlds and Rise, in my opinion. I think it's so interesting. Javi, if you don't know, there's two separate Monster Hunter teams. There's the Monster Hunter team that works on the main titles for the main consoles, and there's a Monster Hunter team that works on the handheld games. So while World was in development, they were making Rise, and while Rise was out, they were in development for Wilds. The World team, the Monster Hunter World team, was working on Wilds while Rise was out. And so it's really interesting to see how they added in things from Monster Hunter Rise into Wilds while still keeping a lot of like the Monster Hunter World aspect of like traveling this locale and coming across monsters naturally and fighting them off. And they've also done something really interesting with the player hub now. Now the player hub seems to be like you are forced into an a multiplayer lobby, and when you're in the hub, the camp area, you're in this camp area with all the other people that are online. And then once you go out into a quest, you have the option to like invite the people that are in your lobby to help you with the quest, which is really interesting. It's kind of like a different direction, but it is really cool. The map is enormous. The map is very large. This is just one map we have so far. This is just the beta for the
I'm about
Wind
to
Waker.
say,
Yeah,
I'm about to say, it's like that's just one map, right?
yeah, yeah.
They
This
only
is
put you
just
into the one
this
map.
is just one map. Usually there's like 4 to 6 locales in Monster Hunters. Usually the game
Mhm.
gets released with like 3 to 4 locations, and then like
Mhm.
DLCs will add like 1 or 2 locations more. Um, so this is just one. If we get like 3 to 4 areas that are all this massive, that's gonna be incredible because this map is truly. I I probably put 40 hours into the beta alone on PlayStation. I played it non-stop for like 2.5 days on my PlayStation, and then I played it a little bit on PC. It was incredible. I absolutely loved it. I fought so many monsters multiple times, just trying out the different weapons, trying out like
Mhm.
different ways to fight the monsters. Um, Again, it is really cool to see how they still implemented new aspects from Monster Hunter Rise to like the classic gameplay of World still. Like
Mhm.
Rise had a lot of these wire bug moves, which were like the special moves you could do with your weapons. In this iteration of the game, they've gotten rid of the wire bugs, so you no longer have access to those moves. But they've
Okay.
implemented those new moves that were introduced into Rise as like just like normal combo attack patterns in your normal playstyle now. So like the moves are still available, but just under different circumstances are you allowed to use the move, or like through different methods, or do you do the new moves available to you? And it's just really cool. I mean, Monster Hunter series is all about just picking your favorite weapon and getting really fucking good at that one weapon. Is really what it's all about.
Mhm.
Just based off the beta alone, I was seeing so many people just post like Monster Hunter has such a big speedrunning community. Um,
Mhm.
like my whole like Monster Hunter feed right now is like people fighting the flagship monster of this area, which is the, I don't even know what it's called. It's the lightning dragon. It's like AU Raw or Adu something like that, and like they're beating the monster in under 5 minutes already. Like
That's
which is
crazy.
crazy because like my first take at the monster, it took me like 20 to 25 minutes. I'm so ashamed to say. Like the
Ooh.
second time I fought I beat it.
Damn.
I beat it
Okay.
in like 15 minutes. I fought it like 5 more times. I was never able to beat this monster faster than like 10 minutes. To see people beat it in under 5 minutes, it's like they have such a understanding of their weapon and the monster that like I just don't get. You know, and
Mhm.
they're just that much better at the game. But that's what makes these games so addicting. Just like the level of player skill and like knowledge that you need to have in this type of title.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I feel like there is like a big learning curve to these types of
oh,
games, like for sure.
huge. I mean, you can't go from just playing like any action adventure game and then go into Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is such a unique style of gameplay, like you versus the monster, that just isn't replicated by other games whatsoever. Because it's just a game of boss fights, is what it is, and then you learning the specific attack patterns of each monster. But did you play a little bit of the beta?
I did. I did. I obviously I couldn't play a lot just because work life things. There's so many other games that I had to play, but I at least want to hop in just so I could say that I did. Uh, First off, just the fact the beta it's it definitely gave me like Monster Hunter. Like I felt like a lot of the things that you said kind of ring true. I didn't get to finish it, so I didn't get to play
Yeah.
enough of
Well,
it.
there really
But
isn't much to finish. It's just the one location, and you just have free reign to fight monsters. It's just There's no story to the beta or anything like that.
I'm about to say, it's like there wasn't like
There wasn't anything to finish.
really
It's just
yeah, right.
it's
Okay, cool.
just a hub and just the world for you to explore and the monsters for you to fight. That's all it is.
Because I didn't get to like to face the main boss.
Yeah, the flagship monster in here.
Flagship monster that's in that area. So I really didn't like. I guess if that's the way you finish the game, like I or finish the beta, I couldn't really finish it. But playing it feels great. Like the different weapons that you use, like the movement feels great. Like I'm definitely excited for this because I did play Monster Hunter Rise, and that game was phenomenal. It is phenomenal. So I definitely am excited to see how this game kind of progresses. Do you think it's going to be as big as Monster Hunter Worlds?
Yeah, 100%.
100%?
Yeah. Monster Hunter Worlds was definitely the title that brought about like the new generation of Monster Hunter players. Wilds is just gonna bring back those players because with Rise, a lot of people were upset that Rise became more, I guess, like anime like it was more of like just like less real, because World is meant to be like the more realistic title, I guess, like higher graphics, more graphic fidelity and stuff like that, while Rise, since it was a handheld title, like they don't see it as like a mainline title. But to each their own, have whatever opinions you want. But point is, like, Wilds is definitely gonna have a huge fan base. This game is going to bring about a lot of new players as well, especially the way that they're taking a different direction with this game in terms of its multiplayer. How the whole game kind of just seems like the whole game is multiplayer now. I don't really know how they're going to do the story-based missions like single player, because based off how like the hub area works, it seems you kind of just always are in a multiplayer lobby. I don't know how you really just connect single player without just like disconnecting your internet connection. But I kind of do like the new change because it just makes it more of like a communal type of a game, which Monster Hunter is always meant to be multiplayer. But you can also, from what I've seen with trailers, you can also still do multiplayer hunts just with NPCs instead of real people if you want to do that.
Okay.
I do want to talk a little bit about performance with this game. So I played this both on PlayStation 5 and PC.
How is it on PC, bro? Tell me.
So I do have a relatively high-end PC, and at ultra settings, max graphics, I was able to run a smooth 60 to 70 frames. I do think that this game is definitely going to chug on like mid-range computers. Like if you're running a 3060, 3070 like Nvidia, and you have like an i7 processor, like I definitely think you're going to be kind of running this at like 30, 40 frames, which I don't think is a bad thing at all, because I mean PlayStation is running this at 30 frames.
Is it? I felt like it was pretty smooth. I felt like
it's 30 frames.
Slower,
like there's no way that PlayStation is running this at 60 frames per second.
No, but it does have good frame pacing. It does have good frame pacing.
It definitely does.
I didn't feel like it was chugging. I didn't feel like it was chugging, but I definitely feel like it all is dependent on whether or not the frame pacing of the game feels more fluid, because it could feel like if you get like a 30 choppy, oh, it's disgusting. Like it feels so. But bro, I mean, 60 is the way to play.
No, but definitely, I'm already expecting when this game fully releases, I'm going to be running at like 80, 90 frames, maybe in 100, just because we still are in open beta and they still are tweaking with a lot of the performance issues.
They're still optimizing.
This is the point of a beta, to optimize the game to multiple platforms. That is why they first released it on a 3-day period on PlayStation first, then released it on PC and Xbox and PlayStation after that. It wasn't just purely due to the fact that they wanted PS Plus subscribers to play the game first. It's just the fact that they have to test this game on a console first before releasing it on like PC to like optimize it just a little bit better. And then when we get the full release in February, this is going to play phenomenally better and probably look better too. And the game looks incredible. I just gotta say, environmentally, this game looks so freaking incredible.
Yeah.
I know you didn't see the lightning monster, like you didn't get to that part yet in
No,
the
I didn't
game.
get a chance. No.
But when
I
you're
did watch it. I did watch it,
yeah,
but
when you're fighting other monsters, the lightning monster will come in and he'll change the weather of the game. Like
it's nuts.
he changes because he's a lightning dragon. When you're fighting like the other monsters, he'll come in and start a turf war, and like intervene in the fight that you're currently having with your current monster. And when he does that, you can see the lightning coming from the sky, and like it's so atmospheric. And man, like Monster Hunter
Crazy.
just has a way of like in the most perfect moments when you're battling a monster, once like the scene is so picture perfect with the monster roaring right in front of you, and then like the lightning hitting the stage, and then like you doing your super attack just at the right moment, and then the music kicks in like at the most perfect moment, and it all culminates to this like it's just peak gameplay. So I don't even know how else to explain it. It's like I get goosebumps every time I have a moment when I'm playing longsword, and like I get to like counter an attack a monster does, and then the music kicks in, and it's like it's so good. Like it's the reason I have hundreds of hours in the previous titles. I really think that Monster Hunter's gameplay loop is so perfect. Like
Yeah.
the type of game that this is. If you couldn't already tell, I'm super excited for Monster Hunter Wilds to come out in February.
I'm about to say this game comes out in February, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think with that, just to give you the specific date, this game comes out on February 28th. So keep an eye out for that. And I think with that, I think we're pretty much good, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys. All right. Well, guys, from me and Chris, thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more of our videos, check out our videos in the top corner. I don't know if it's over here or if it's over here. It should show up. And don't forget to obviously like, subscribe on your way out. Thank you guys so much for watching here. And obviously this has been Not For Normies podcast.
Thank you all for watching. Please leave some feedback.
Yes, please. In the comments, leave feedback. We're always looking. So thank you guys so much. And we are Chris and Javier signing off. So we'll see you later.
See you guys.